Hey FLOSSTUBE, it's Leigh from Creative Leigh here on Sunday 13 April 2025 with FLOSSTUBE number 263. Welcome back to my weekly YouTube channel about counted cross stitch. New glasses. These are computer glasses. They are a slightly lower magnification than my progressive, so had these for almost a week. I picked them up on Wednesday lunchtime and I'm very pleased with them so far. As in I can now actually see myself on this video because with my progressives, the other glasses that I was wearing, they were, long distance. So when I was staring at the computer camera, I couldn't really see that well. And then I had very strong, not very strong, I then had a magnification, for doing my crafting at the bottom. These are slightly less magnified, but single vision, so just perfect for the computer, looking at this, even reading books, because they're just the right thing. Anyway, so I'm pleased about that. Nothing like, $850 to make life a little bit easier. But man, have I got bags under my eyes. Perhaps I always have bags under my eyes, but I don't normally see them. I'm feeling a bit tired. Anyway, it was a busy week. So yeah, worked from a client site on Wednesday, aka where I used to work. And then I had a hygienist appointment in that late afternoon. And then went back to the office and then worked until about 7. So it was a long work day on Wednesday, so I didn't get a lot of stitching done. And then Thursday, I went to, basically left home about 5 to drive into Wellington to go to the Crash Test Dummies Thursday night, which was a really great concert. It was, very nostalgic and entertaining, and man, did my feet hurt from standing for hours. And of course I put boots on that I'd never worn before, like new winter boots. And it basically, my feet protested that they had to hold me up for, how long were we there for? 3.5 hours. But anyway, it was a enjoyable time, and it was their 30-year anniversary tour of God Shuffled His Feet, the album, and they had never been to New Zealand before, so it was great. It was great. Kind of interesting too, if you're at all familiar with their music from back in the 90s. The lyrics, man, they were written ahead of their time. Kind of very relevant, and also as we're all in our middle ages, including the band, kind of feeling a little bit close to the bone, really, about aging and what have you. But anyway, it was great. So I didn't get a lot of stitching done. I got a couple of things to show you, but also other things to show you as well, because why not? What else did I do last week? That's pretty much it. Yesterday, after this video, after recording this, I'm going to go to the laundromat for the last time. Yes, I went yesterday down and purchased a washing machine and dryer to replace my vintage secondhand beasts. Essentially, shops are starting to advertise their Easter sales. So I did a bit of a look around, and anyway, went down to the place that I wanted to go to, a local, locally owned appliance store, and they matched and then shaved a little bit extra off. Essentially gave me what would be the Easter sales a week early, but essentially, just undercut a competitor. So I was very happy with that, and they're gonna bring them on Wednesday and install them for me and take my old ones away for recycling and stripping or what have you. So I'm very pleased about that. I need to get my fringe cut. It's a little bit too long, and it keeps sitting behind my glasses and tickling my eyelid. Yeah, so finally bit the bullet. I think I saved about, oh, what was it? $800 maybe on the set. So I'm really pleased with that. That's the most exciting thing that happened yesterday. I bought a raincoat because it's coming into winter. I haven't actually owned a raincoat, maybe ever. I mean, when I was a kid, but I might have had, yeah, I don't think I've actually ever owned a raincoat. It's sad, eh? I just, meant I got a bit wet when I was waiting for the train or walking. But I mean, I'm going to be commuting a lot less these days, but I decided I needed a raincoat, so I bought a raincoat. Okay, stitching stuff. I received the March Tom and Lily thread club in the mail during the week. What does Melanie write about this one? Take a peek at the March thread pack, Spring Blossoms. It's autumn. A carefully curated selection delivered right to your door. This month's theme captures the delicate charm of springtime blossoms, blending fresh pigments and unique dyeing techniques to create a soft, airy palette, perfect for your seasonal stitching projects. It's a very pretty. And in case you're unfamiliar, you get 10 skeins, 8-meter skeins of over-dyed thread, and some of the colours are from the regular Colour Gems collection and some are from purpose dyes for the club. So this month's palette, while intentionally spring-like, it's not, you know, full. It's a pretty palette. I mean, you know, it's not too pastel, which I really like, and I like the sort of hyacinth colours. Anyway, it's pretty. There's 2 greens are lovely, 3 peaches, and 5, or a couple of sort of purples and 3 blues. Love it. So really pleased to get that. What do I do with my threads? Look at them, stroke them. These days I'm keeping the monthly clubs together on a ring, and then when I try and kit stuff up with my own threads, especially where I might want 7 or 8 colours that kind of go nicely together but don't necessarily need to be exactly the same as what was charted, then I'll start with one of the months just to see whether that will work. I did that. I actually did cut up a couple of things during the week, and I did that with one project, and I went looking for it and I don't know where to put it. So I think I had a project where it needed, let's say, 10 colours. I think 6 worked from one of the months, and then I just supplemented with a couple of other random overdyes. So I've kept the whole thing together, just to keep those 10 coordinated colours together, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying that instead of separating them all out. I've got so many threads. They're a bit of a mess. I mean, they're all together, but whatever. Stitching. I shared last week that I started doing a red thread a day with a few stitchy buddies, and I'm probably averaging about 5 threads a day. I kind of really enjoyed just plugging away on this one. So this is my project that I'm gonna stitch 1 red thread a day until it's finished. Minimum 1 red thread a day, or on average, no, it's more than 1 on average. So Elizabeth Huckle Vautier, Under the Red Blues. This was a project started back in 2023, so it's about time that I worked on it to get it towards the finish. 40 count Kauri linen from Country Stitch using Gentle Arts Claret. and I kind of just enjoyed plugging away at it. I didn't have a lot of stitchy time, and when I did, I just kept working on this. So there's where we're at now. And I worked on just a couple more of those borders, brought these up a little bit, these side ones up a little bit more, that border, and then all of that's been filled in as well. So I did, as you can see, that's definitely more than one thread a day. So I'm loving it. So at the top of here we've got, I think it's just the word bienvenue, and then we have back into sort of more symmetrical kind of borders. I love this sample so much. So yeah, really pleased with that. I haven't done my red threads today, but I'll plug away. I'll probably get the bienvenue stitched and then get that kind of row finished. And then last night, yesterday afternoon, no, it was, yeah, yesterday evening, I've had this pulled out and sitting on my couch since the 2nd. But my much neglected and oldest whip, I pulled it out. Save the stitches. It's not quite the whole, this photo didn't print properly. It's got some more down here and another row and a half up here, but essentially save the stitches. It is a freebie from Liz Armand, Blackwork Journey. If you look her up, her website is Blackwork Journey. This was a 24-part stitch along a number of years ago, and I started it back in, it was a January 1st start in 2021. So yeah, this is my only whip from 2021. I'm stitching it on very close to the called for, 28 count Antique White Lugana. I'm using DMC Pearl number 12 and DMC Stranded, both 310 and 310. Where I've changed it, so it was called for DMC Diamant metallic in gold, copper and silver. So instead of silver, I'm doing pewter. And then it also called for Mill Hill beads. I just grabbed, when I kitted this up from Nancy's years ago, I just grabbed what beads they had that kind of went. So I'm using a gold, a copper and a pewter Mill Hill bead, but not necessarily called for. So yeah, had promised at the Christchurch retreat that this would get some love in April, and I gave it some love. So rare for me, I'm stitching top down, although I just stitch upside down. There's where we're at. What did I get done? I've already forgotten what part it was. Maybe it's like part 26 to, I can't remember. But I got the infill for, was that one? And these 4. I had the outline done from ages ago. So yeah, I got that and that done last night and a little bit this morning. So pretty. This one did my head in. The ones that are quite gappy I find really hard. The ones that are really lots of, I don't know, some of them are harder to do because you're on an angle, and it's just, anyway, that one with the big gaps, that one was a bit hard to do. That one was quite am I telling lies? Yeah, that one was kind of the easy one to do. I don't know, it was fine. It's just sometimes it takes a little while for me to get my eye in and work out the most kind of efficient route, because if you're unfamiliar with this one, each of the little wedges has sort of 3 different, like it has a really dense, I missed something there. Funny how you share stuff on screen and then you notice you've missed something. I've missed a black thread there. I'll better fill that up. As you can see, it's the same pattern, but Some of it is a bit more sparse, some of it's filled in with black and some of it's filled in with metallic. So it kind of goes through 3 different variations on average of the different infill, or fills as they're called, I think. And then you've got these big kind of ones that just break up the symmetrical ones that sort of sit in the middle. So this is, I think when I get this one done, then I will be a quarter of the way done. Yeah, no, I'll be a third of the way done, I think. Yeah, so I need to get a wriggle on. Next up, fill in these ones. So I'm going to keep this out and work on that this week as well. Fill in that one, and then maybe if I feel up for it, I'll get the outline in for the next 3. Because again, when you're counting the outline, I find it easier just to count. I think it's like 19 or something. You count 19, 19, 19, and come back 15, something like that. Anyway. But anyway, really pleased I got a little bit of progress on that. So finally pulled that out. Quite keen to keep working on that until it drives me nuts. I really would like to finish it this year. And if I was able to do one of those blocks a week or even a fortnight, I should be able to finish it this year. So that's all my stitching. Yeah, only new stuff in was my Tom and Lily threads. I thought I'll just carry on from the last couple of, a couple of weeks ago, I showed you all of my red sampler. Well, first of all, I showed you all the fractors, which of course I pick up. Did I tell you I booked flights? I'm going down to Christchurch for a weekend mid-May. So I'm going to just realise it's over Eurovision weekend, so I'm going to miss the annual Eurovision party, but never mind. Going down, yeah, it's that weekend of like the 16th to 18th to catch up with my brother and new sister-in-law, and I've gone that weekend because I can go along to the Christchurch stitching meetup since I'm going to be in town anyway, and I'll pick up my framing, so all my fractors will get picked up, and I'll be taking a very empty suitcase down and some bubble wrap and bringing back pictures. And I forgot what I was going. Okay, and then the week after, or the next time, I showed you my red samplers, and so then I thought I'll show you 5 more of my things that are in my to frame pile. So I've decided I'll carry on with the monochromatic. So I've just pulled the monochromatic ones, and I think next time I'll show you finished pieces that are stitched in 2 or 3 colors, so not quite monochromatic. So even if it's black, but like they've got a butterfly sampler, black butterfly sampler, it's actually stitched in 2 different shades of black. So even though at a first glance it looks like it's one, it's not. So to be truly accurate, I'll show that next week, I think, with the samplers that I've stitched, or the charts that are stitched into 2 or 3 colors. So these are just the last of my monochromatic, I believe. I've got 3 black samplers and 2 blue samplers. Okay, let's crack in. First up, we've got a Real Comfort, a Jane Austen sampler from Modern Folk Embroidery. This is on 40 count wood smoke from Tabby Cat. I love this linen so much. I wish it was cut straight, but that's fine. Well, you'll see why. I'm going to have to cut some off one side and sew it on the other because I started on the crooked edge. Never mind. This was a 50/50 start, and 16th of December 2022, and I fished it on the 6th of February 2023, and there she is. These are both stitched with Anchor Black, this one and the companion piece. See where I started it? I had heaps of room and the fabric was not cut straight, and that was not my overlocker. I should have started it on that side, but I usually start, so I know which way's up, I usually start with the raw edge either at the bottom or on the left hand side. because that way I always know which way is up, and that unfortunately wasn't cut straight, so never mind. It's enough, you know, that's where the framing's going to come to. This one might even free framed a little tighter, and I'll just sew some onto here. I love it, it's pretty. I know I've seen a few people finish this lately, and they've left out the Jane Austen bit and they've left out the bottom row, but I like it, and I needed it to be the same size as the other one, so yay. It's that one. Next up, it's companion piece. I Am No Bird, a Charlotte Bronte sampler, also from Modern Folk Embroidery. This one is also stitched on 40 count with Anchor Black, but this fabric is Tickle the Ivory from Dames of the Needle. This was a start on the 13th of August 23 and finished 16th of November 24. It did sit for quite a while, and then I just did most of it in, like, 2 weeks, I think it was. I love this as well. So that's that one. This is one of my favourite wee samplers. Black sampler from Stitches Through the Years. It was a freebie sampler. It can be tricky to find. I know, yeah, it can be tricky to find. I don't know why. I can't remember why, but if you look for it on the interwebs, you should better find it. This is on a 40 count parchment linen from Country Stitch. And what am I using? Oh, I used Gutermann silk in the colour 000 for this one here. This is when I did some black samplers, and for Black Sampler September, I stitched on, I made sure every sampler had something different. So I had Anchor Black, Gutermann silk, some overdyed, just so that it would be random. So started 13 November 23 and finished 14 February 24. This one has a whole lot of personalization. It was such a fun little sampler. So other than the fact that I couldn't count and there's counting errors all the way through it, I worked around them. How did I change it, the design? So I wanted to put my initials in, so I took out the motif that was here to squeeze my initials in, and I used the font up there. Just used the same font that was up here. Those numbers were too big though for me to put. It didn't have the date, so this floral motif had some extra bits and pieces in here. I just took them out, and I found a font that was sort of similar, but slightly smaller, to squeeze in 2024 in there. And yeah, I love this sampler. It's just so pretty, and I love the border, how it kind of changes. You got the zigzag going into these sort of whatever they are. I know, it's just an adorable little sampler, and I really, really, really love that one. Then we've got a couple of blue samplers. This chart was a gift from Zeb. She passed it on to me, and then I passed it back to her. Because I think once she saw I'd stitched it up, she really liked it. I'm like, well, I give my charts away, you can have it back. So thank you, Zeb, for loaning it to me. So this is the Hutt sampler, from Homespun Samplers, and I stitched mine on 36 count neutral from Victorian Motto Sampler Shop. I do love this linen as well. I loved Sampler Shop Victorian Motto linen, but anyway, I use my own silk conversion. I use Silks for You PR021, and I wrote down winning combo of joy. Silks for You on Victorian Motto Sampler Shop linen is such a joy to stitch with. This was a very quick little project. It was one of my 50 at 50, number 16. And I started on the 1st of May and finished on the 6th of May, which is just absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, that's me. I remember changing little bits of it because I didn't like something about how it was charted. It was something to the diamond triangles. Okay, I'll show you. I need to cut that bit off the top. I could totally use that for something. I need to harvest some of this fabric is really what I'm saying. There it is there. So put my initials and the date in the little wreath. And then there was something about the way these were charted, these little triangles. On these ones, they were on the inside of these little, but on these ones, they went in or something. It was like, I changed, that's what I changed, I think, is I made these on the outside rather than them on the inside, or some of them were on the inside. It was something like that. I can't remember, but I changed that. But yeah, love it. Love the alphabet going around the outside. Love all the little animals and things. And love my choice of that kind of dusky blue, Ridgewoody blue. Yeah, happy with that one. That was just a quick little stitch and obviously couldn't put it down because I stitched it in 5 days. And this last one was another 50 at 50. I totally could have used this fabric differently, but sometimes you get excited and just start it. This is Nessie Mitchell, 1929. So it was an original sampler by Mama Loves You GB that she did for a relative. I stitched mine on 40 count. The Cat's Whiskers from Tabby Cat. I like this linen too. I mean, I like all the linen just about. Using a Tom and Lily thread. Oh, right, this is my European sampler. So using Tom and Lily Verite or Truth. So yeah, of course, the chart is by Mama Loves You GB and she lives in Wales. Using French linen and French floss, so it was very, very northern. Yeah, start 4th of September 22, finish 10th of December 22. God, so far, it was so long ago, my 50 at 50. Yeah, I totally could have stitched this across the fabric. It was enough room, and then I would have had like that much fabric left, but never mind, I didn't. This is personalized quite a bit as well, so here we go. And this one, so it looks very black, but it's a really dark blue. What did I change on this? So the personalization, I decided because it had the A-I-O-U and all the alphabet, and I did a Bachelor of Arts in Literature, I decided to kind of commemorate when I got my Bachelor of Arts, when I graduated. So I did all that over one, my full name, and my BA graduated in 1993. This feels like that's a very long time ago. And then I know I tweaked a couple of the borders where in my opinion, there was some inconsistencies with the charting. Just, I think something on this bottom border was dropped down below, like some of these leaves were a little bit lower and the ones at the top lined up with the top of it. I know I changed something there, but I don't remember now. If in doubt, change it. But it's such a sweet little sampler, and yeah, it's so pretty. I really like it. But yeah, again, this is probably the worst use of fabric I've ever in my life. That's appalling. I could totally have made better use of that. So those are my monochromatic sampler finishes that are not red. As I said, I've got probably like 6 or 7 that are either 2 or 3 colours. So they'll probably be the next up, unless I have suddenly a massive haul or something to show you next week, or I go crazy and stitch 93 things. Yeah, I'll just gotta continue working through, just blast through the past. It also helps me work out what's next in the priority to get framed. So, that's it. I'm gonna wrap that up. I'm sorry for the croaky voice. I I guess I don't know. I'm going to get off my chuff. I won't edit this till a bit later. I'm going to get off my chuff. I'm going to go to put the laundry on for the last time at the laundromat. And then I'm going to whip to the supermarket and just grab a handful of things because I have about a half hour while the wash goes. Then come back, hang it all online, then see what's going to go on. To get my video edited maybe. Maybe I'll get up a bit earlier this week. Again, thanks for coming along, and, you know, as always, don't let your needles rust. Ciao.